I try and get a thumbnail by getting some big like expressions at the beginning.
Okay.
So can you just like lean forward and look into the camera, and I'll do the same, and give me like a massive smile, and then go for like a big shock face, like what? And then give me like a laugh down the camera, like ha 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 ha. Cool. And we're into the pod.
Lovely.
Hasan Al-Habib, welcome to the couch.
Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you for coming. For anybody that doesn't know Hasan is a very talented comedian up here at the Edinburgh Fringe where we're filming, and you're doing your debut show, which is being very well received.
It has been.
You're getting extra shows, good reviews.
Thank you, brother.
I want to start. I feel like it's probably the easiest intro to you. Like the title of your show is Death to the West Midlands.
The lawyers made me put that in.
Is there meant to be a pause between West?
There is meant to be a pause, dramatic pause. You know what? When I named it, I was just like, what is going to sell tickets? Because people, when they come to the Fringe, they can come see you, people they know already from videos, Mike Rice, Vittorio, what's going to make them want to see some Arab?
Yeah.
Which is what I am to the good people of Edinburgh. And I thought, well, the name is the number one marketing tool you have in your disposal. So I thought, if you can make them laugh with the title itself, you're halfway there to selling a ticket.
I've seen a lot of shows that are like, either they put a number in the name and then goes to the top of the listings, or I think if your show has your poster and your shows really stick out because it's very clear your style of humor. I think to get a joke in the title helps.
Yeah.
And also, so it's Death to the West Midlands because you are from Birmingham.
I'm from Birmingham, from the West Midlands.
It's just...
As you can tell by my thick accent.
Well, it's from when you said laugh.
Yeah, it comes out. It comes out. You know when it comes out is when I'm angry. So when my football team are playing a match and the striker misses, I'm like, oh my God, how's he missed that? That's 6 yards out. A proper striker would have scored that, you know. But
who do you support, Birmingham?
As you can tell by my thick accent, Liverpool.
They must look at you when you're in the stand at Anfield and they go, we weren't expecting that accent from that guy in Liverpool.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's... I try and do Scouse as well in the show, but the problem with talking about football and comedy is that people that like comedy don't like football. I mean, actually, well, you're proving that's not the case with your famous...
No. I'm proving that. I went viral for making up football players, got loads of views.
Yeah.
No one came to a show.
Yeah.
So I stopped doing it because it wasn't selling tickets. That's all I care about, famously. But there's a few people obviously comedy and football have always been linked through that kind of like David Baddiel.
Oh yeah.
Frank Skinner bunch. But coming up here to Edinburgh and being amongst a theatre lot.
Yeah.
Really does feel very far away.
Yeah.
Yesterday was first day of the Premier League season. I couldn't find it on in any pub.
No, that's real theatre.
That's real theatre. Or I guess also maybe in Scotland they don't care about the Premier League.
Yeah, true. True.
But you're from Birmingham, supporting Liverpool. And then, well, you've always lived in Birmingham.
Yeah.
You live in London now? You still in
Birmingham? Live in London now. And I live in London now, so I've lost my accent because I need paid employment. And they don't give that to you if you say, when do you need this spreadsheet for, Bav? Can I get it to you for COP Tuesday?
Do you change your accent when you go back? Because you gig in Birmingham quite a lot.
Yeah.
When you go out of London, do you find Birmingham accent?
Yes. It's a useful tool. Because I think people around the country, they're kind of like, oh, another comedian from London, they're going to talk about the tube or whatever. So when I drop that first bab, that's when they're like, whoa, he's kind of like us in a way. Like he's outside, he maybe is suspicious of London as well. And obviously in Birmingham, it's a cheat code. Because as soon as you drop the Brummie accent, they're like, oh, he's one of us. Let's laugh at him. He's funny. He's funny. Yeah, exactly. Straight away.
How did you get into comedy then? Because I don't know much about... We met a couple of years ago. I don't know much about how you got into comedy. Because your act seems very theatrical in the sense that as we've been 5 minutes into this and you've offended many colleagues. You do a lot of act outs.
Yeah.
You hold pauses and timing a lot. It's quite an unusual act for quote unquote new comedians.
Yeah.
How do you live it? So you're growing up in Birmingham. At what point did you start wanting to do comedy, and who were you watching that you kind of wanted to be like?
Yeah, I remember. So basically, I got into comedy because I joined the ISIS of British comedy, which is, of course, the Cambridge Footlights, right? And the reason I wanted to join the Cambridge Footlights, even though no one in my family went to Cambridge and I didn't really know anything about Cambridge, was because I was watching Mastermind on BBC and Robert Webb was on there. And they asked Robert Webb, what's your advice for an aspiring comedian? And he gave this long story about Cambridge Footlights and doing comedy and blah, blah, blah. And at the end, John Humphrey, the host, was like, so you're saying go to Cambridge?
Yeah.
And he laughed and I was like, yeah, go to Cambridge. And I was like, I've got to go to Cambridge.
Did you go to Cambridge?
After 2 unsuccessful attempts and a gap year.
No.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I did. But it took 4 years. Yeah.
Application.
And you know what? The application, right? So the first one, I had an interview. So I had 2 interviews. First interview goes really, really well. I'm like, if I do the same, I'm into Cambridge.
You're applying for what course?
Natural sciences, biological natural sciences, right? Because my dad was like, you have to be a chemical engineer. And I thought, not if I ever want to travel to the US.
Yeah.
Because that is the most popular profession amongst terrorists. But he said, no, all the money, chemical engineering. So I was like, okay, let's do biological natural science. Do the first interview, goes really great. Second interview, I absolutely bomb. They asked me this simple, I would say simple, it's like, did you do chemistry?
I did chemistry up to about GCSE.
So they're like, just work out the concentration of this liquid. And I was like, if you had said to me what's 2 + 2, I would have struggled.
Yeah.
And flopped that interview. I thought, I'll take a gap year. I had like a practice interview with my biology teacher, my chemistry teacher, my maths teacher, all to like get me ready for, and then the second interview, first interview goes really well, second year. Second interview, I get there. And the reason I'd chosen this college to apply to, was Queen's College, was because they let you write in 3 topics that you want to talk about. So that's what the practice interviews were for. I did a practice interview for each topic. I was so well prepared. I get there and they say, so this is the interview where you talk about the 3 topics. I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. And they go, there's just one problem. We didn't receive your 3 topics. Turns out I'd never sent a letter before, and I didn't realize that an A4 envelope is going to take more than 1 second-class stamp. So they never received my 3 topics.
Sorry, so you tried to send an A4 envelope with 1 second-class stamp, and Royal Mail just never delivered it.
Sorry, I'm new to this country. Not sure how the...
Yeah, when you go to... Okay, first of all, okay. So you want to become, like, Cambridge, for anybody...
Yeah.
Intellectual university. Test number
And that
1.
was the first test.
Test number 1.
Exactly.
Can you get a letter to us? And you failed that bit. So then in the interview, can't you just tell them what you're...
So I did, but they don't have time to prepare. So they just like, oh, but also my mum was like, as soon as I came out of the interview, I called her and she was like, well, you're not going to Cambridge. She was like, they will take any excuse to reject someone because they've had so many applicants.
Yeah.
So you are not going to Cambridge.
In Cambridge's defense, that's quite a good reason.
Exactly. Exactly.
You hear a lot of stories where they're like getting rid of people for the wrong reasons. That is one of the best reasons I've ever heard for not giving someone a second interview, which is he couldn't figure out Royal Mail. And I guarantee you when you wait, did you buy a stamp and then put it in a letter?
No, I think my dad had stamp. It's not even like I was limited. But I think because like my dad is frugal, so I don't want to piss him off by taking too many stamps.
You're just licking one at a time. Was your dad one of those dads, like, I've got like elderly relatives that still tell me that stamps are legal tender? Because anything with the Queen's face on it is money. I think that is true.
I think it is true, but my dad collects stamps. But I don't know if he knows that. I'll tell him that.
Your dad collects stamps?
He does collect stamps, yeah. Like a lot of Arab stamps.
And yet.
And unfortunately, I found out those Arab stamps you can't send posts.
Translate.
You can't send posts with Arab stamps.
I love it. Just also putting 6 on. Just 6.
My interview topics are somewhere in Tunis, I imagine.
I like the idea of like, because I don't buy stamps and then post in a letterbox for this very reason.
Yeah.
I have no idea the conversion ratio of like 1 first class and 2 second class will get this in a 3-day window or whatever. So I was just take my letter, I go to Royal Mail, they weigh it and then they charge you the exact amount. But what I thought was if you have done that and still fucked it up, that means the woman behind the desk at the post office has gone, you're going to need 2 second class stamps, and you've gone,
no.
Sister, I think I know what I'm doing here. I don't know if you see the address on that letter, but it's going to Cambridge University. And she's just going, you're a fucking idiot.
Imagine, yeah. So fuck that up.
So that was your second time?
Second attempt. I then ended up going to uni in London, applied for a master's, no master's that I could apply for at Cambridge. Went to Oxford instead. And then at Oxford, applied for a PhD at Oxford and Cambridge. I applied for like 14. I got into 2, one at Oxford, one at Cambridge. And I loved the lab I was with at Oxford. And then I said to my supervisor, I'm leaving. And she was like, why? She was like, you got all this funding. You've got this great lab. I'm about to get this £2 million grant. You're having a great time. Like, why are you leaving? And I was too embarrassed to say, because I want to be a clown and go to the Cambridge Footlights. So I was just like, I fancy a change.
Sorry, you got a PhD. You got in for a PhD course at Oxford because you wanted to go to the Cambridge Footlights because Robert Webb told you on Mastermind that's how you become a comedian. When you saw him as a comedian, why didn't you just become a comedian at like 18?
So because I had no idea how. And also the idea of going to a pub and performing stand-up terrified me. Absolutely terrified. I just thought like, I'm Muslim, so I'm not supposed to be here anyway. Fine. And then I'm going to start doing, exactly.
And so you eventually got to Cambridge.
Yeah.
Third time.
Yeah.
Doing a PhD. In oncology this time, just for shits and gigs.
Yeah.
Because that's the easy way in. That's what all me and my friends did.
I needed something to write material about.
And then you did to get to join the Footlights? Surely once you were there, you were in the Footlights.
Bro, this is a whole... So literally, there was a scandal about... Oh, I can't believe I'm talking about this. So like...
They wanted me to send in my favourite jokes.
Yeah.
And the fucking Royal Mail wouldn't let me.
There was a lot of like... At the time, it was quite a nepotistic situation whereby only the people that were on the committee... I can't believe I'm talking... This is so uninteresting. But basically, people weren't elected. So what that meant was the people that were on the committee that could call themselves Footlights, they were chosen by the last year's committee.
And then they pick the next
Right,
ones.
which means that the way you get on there and the way you call yourself a Footlight and the way you get to perform in all their shows, because they wouldn't do auditions. They would just be like, we're in the show. And that show, because it's Cambridge, because the brand is so strong.
I thought the Footlights was like, because in the US, you often hear of like, I'm really interested in like densities of talent. I think it was at Georgetown or wherever. It's like Nick Kroll found John Mulaney and they were doing improv in DC. And it was like, and that's the same where all those SNL guys are at the same time. Yeah. And obviously the Footlights. And then in Oxford, you've got there wasn't much stand-up, but they had the review, The review. And you've kind of got this like density of smart people. But I always assumed the Footlights was like a bunch of first years applying, a bunch of third years taking on the new batch. And then those become the Mitchell and Webbs, the Fry and Laurie's, the Al-Habibs and
Aisha Mandouris, Too Muslim, Too Furious, Go Halal or Go Home.
And so that's where you met. That's
not where I met.
You set up that gig.
No. I met Aisha in London.
Okay.
Yeah.
I should say for people that don't know, Hasan runs you run a month. I want to say almost monthly.
We just do a show. It's like our double act show, which we do like every couple of months in London. Sold out last year at the Fringe. Too Muslim, Too Furious. We brought it back this year. Brand new hour. And it's the two of us on stage.
Yeah. But you have great names. It's called Too Muslim, Too Furious.
Go Halal or Go Home.
Yeah. And you had, was it Mecca Drift?
Mecca Drift was last year. Yeah. Mecca Drift was good.
Just the names of the things.
I know, right? The name is the key to marketing, brother, as you know.
So good. Go halal or go home.
Yeah, honestly, every time I promote it at the end of the gig, it gets a bigger laugh than my jokes.
Yeah, that's
so I'm like, okay, well, hopefully something you
maybe you should just be in marketing.
Exactly, I should be.
Okay, so you didn't get into the Footlights, but you did start doing comedy at Cambridge, or you started after?
I did, and then there was a big scandal because we were like, well, and also like at the time, the committee were 10 people, they were all white. Right, so if I was doing my like ISIS jokes or whatever, it's maybe they're thinking it's not necessarily. And also I kind of get it, like they're 18, 19, 20 years old. But they were all kids. Luckily, I'm a postgrad, so I've got a little bit of life experience. So I knew from other universities, this is not normal. Like you should have elections. People should get to vote. Otherwise, what is this? And then there was a big scandal. Telegraph, The Guardian, Times, all writing about this, quoting me, being like, Hasan Al-Habib says, the Footlights aren't funny and they're like discriminating against like, POC acts. And then people all in the comments of the Telegraph section being like, oh, has he tried being funny? Oh, God, my God, these POC people, they just want like they just want to get in for free and not being funny. And I was like, brother, if you had to sit through some of the comedy I sat through at Cambridge, you would convert to Islam.
Yeah,
you would immediately be like, no, he's right. We need more diversity in the society immediately.
I don't think anyone in amateur dramatics and amateur comedy, and I would like to put amateur magic in that combo.
Oh yeah,
can start complaining about talent.
Right.
Anybody that's like, we're just picking the best. It's like you're just not. It's just not.
Yeah.
There's no way that it's like, oh, you weren't good enough to get in. None of those groups are particularly good. What I think people confuse is they backdate talent. They backdate like skill. In the way that like a lot of the people that were probably in the Footlights group when you were there may go on to have successful careers.
Yes,
but they were not overwhelmingly talented 18-year-olds.
Absolutely,
because there's no way you can come out fully formed in any of those kind of careers.
Exactly. The reason why Footlights produces so many great comedians, and Annie Magliano of the current gen, I'm not even talking about the famous people, Annie Magliano, Leo Reich, John Tothill, these people that are so good. The reason that they're so good is because we've all been afforded the chance to be shit. So like you go to Footlights, from year 1, year 2, you can perform comedy every week, twice a week if you want, and you can die on your ass, come back the next week, perform it again. And a lot of the time you won't die on your ass because the crowd is 250 people. Imagine 250 people there for the first comedy show of the year. You've never done comedy before. You've got an audience of 250 people. And they'll laugh at whatever because they've never been to comedy gigs. They're excited to see their friends. Exactly.
And they're idiots.
Exactly. So like the learning curve for stand-up is so steep. It's so hard to be good at stand-up from the get-go. And Footlights just does this to it. So you just get so many... And then by the end of 3 years, you've done your undergrad, you're 21 years old, you are in the top, 1% of 21-year-old stand-up comedians. You go to London and suddenly you just swim. So that's why people will I want to go to Cambridge and then just figure out something that I can study, theology or whatever. I just want to go to Cambridge so that I can do Footlights and become a good comedian.
So without being able to join Footlights, did you then just start doing open mics and do it? It's interesting to me that you knew you wanted to do comedy and that's such a multi-year process. And it's not uncommon. You talk to people that get into acting or musical comedy and it's took years and years and years of thinking about it. Yeah. Before it because it is a thing where you have to lower that ramp, like you said. But when that doesn't work, did you then start whilst you were still at uni? Or was there a moment where you were like, if I can't do it at the Footlights, I don't know another path? I'm amazed you didn't kind of give up there, especially when you're doing an oncology degree. And it's hardly like you were sitting around. No, true. To do. True. It's like these damn oncology exams. Yeah. I've got all this spare time. Yeah. And they say to you at the beginning, they're very clear, if you don't cure this disease, you're not getting a degree. So I knew I had to work hard. I really had to work hard. And I think the great thing about Cambridge is that there's such a voracious appetite for comedy that there are other gigs that you can do. And then eventually there was a big scandal, like I said, the newspapers, and then there was a big meeting and they decided, right, we're going to democratize Footlights from next year on, we'll have elections. And then it just did become much more meritocratic. And it's been a while since I've been back, but yeah, so from second year onwards, first year I was enjoying some of the benefits of just being university where comedy is big, but from second year onwards, I was doing everything I could, all the comedy gigs. I was watching sketch shows. I was watching stuff that I had no interest in just to try and broaden my horizons, and learn more about comedy. And I don't think I see stand-ups in London, like you started in London, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't know if I would have had the fortitude and the determination to have started comedy here. Because in London, you pay £10 and you're seeing one of the best comedians in the world try new material. Yeah, the competition is too high. It's insane. Yeah. So for someone to sit in an open mic night, they're not really doing that to support live comedy. They're doing that because they want to be entertained. And for whatever reason, you're the closest entertainment. Yeah. So if you're not entertaining them, if you're not making them laugh,
they're not going to laugh. And they might even tell you your shit as well.
Yeah, there's so much competition that there's very little empathy for things which aren't good. I did my first 5 gigs in Bristol, and then I moved to London. And I'm very I mean, there was only 5 gigs, but it was like there I was able to be horrendous.
Yeah.
And not have my ego completely shattered. Slightly shattered by bombing, but like you come to London and suddenly you're like, this is horrific. And is horrific for years.
Yeah.
So because you talk a lot about your family in your stand-up, and I do the same thing. And so I'm interested in that because a lot of people like shy away from it. You talk a lot, I mean, for context, for people that haven't seen your act, I highly recommend go see it. I mean, I'm sure you'll be touring it or whatever soon, but you talk a lot about your dad.
Yeah.
And you talk a lot about your experience growing up in Birmingham as an Arab.
Yeah.
But then you kind of sound like you could be from London.
Yeah. Because the reason for that is because when I was growing up, my parents spoke in Arabic at home. So I kind of learned the English accent from TV. And actually, for a while, people thought I was American because I watched so much Bugs Bunny. What didn't help?
That you start doing the voice.
And I used to walk around with a carrot going, yeah, what's up, Jack? Yeah. So that didn't help.
And they go, that new kid is really weird. They go, is that racism? It's like, no, he keeps quoting Bugs Bunny.
And bear in mind, my country is at war with America at the same time. And people are asking me, are you American?
It's just not, you just go, if they're asking, yes, I am.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm Italian American.
Exactly. But after 9/11, I was singing that anthem. I was saying...
Every morning you're doing a Pledge of Allegiance to Bugs Bunny on Cartoon Network on your TV.
Exactly.
But that must be like a weird mix of like coming from a family where you're speaking Arabic at home, growing up in Birmingham, going to Cambridge, then finding yourself in London. Like, do you feel any pressure in your act to like represent all of those inputs equally?
It's interesting because being Arab on stage, Arabs are so excited. Like when I'm at Top Secret and there are Arabs in the crowd and they say, welcome to the stage, Hasan Al-Habib, the Arabs go crazy. That like, and even Arab countries that Iraq maybe has a rivalry with, like, they're just so happy to see me on stage. And I just say, Salaam alaykum.
They go straight in.
Oh, he said Salam alayhi. Like, they're just so excited, right? So that, you do feel the sense. And then sometimes I'll come off stage and they'll be like, shalonak habibi, kayf al-hal? And I'm like, Arabi malti mu qawi. My Arabic's not very strong. And it's the same with Brummies. I'll do jokes about being from Birmingham, and then they'll come up to me and they'll be like, mate, are you actually from Birmingham? And then, or sometimes they'll say, we didn't believe you, and then when you start doing the accent, we were like, oh, yeah, he is actually from Brum. So yeah, you're right. There is a pressure to feel like you're not only like reflecting authentically what the experience is being from that place, but also that, because with Birmingham, I could do 10 minutes just shitting on Birmingham. And I know comedians that do stuff like that. Mm-hmm. What's much harder to do is to talk about why you love being Brummie or why you love being Iraqi and the positive things associated with that. Because that's like comedy, you're giving yourself a leg up if you talk about something that everyone knows about. Everyone knows that people think Birmingham is shit, or everyone knows that, like, you know, there are Arab terrorist groups and blah, blah, blah. So it's much easier to write jokes about that. What's much harder to write jokes about is stuff like maybe the audience don't know that you are the one informing them about on stage.
So you feel like the further you can go with it, the more specific it can get, kind of the more interesting it can be.
Yeah, definitely.
But when you say people don't necessarily believe that you are from Birmingham, or like, is it a question of like, and I know this happens a lot in the UK to people that are like, you know, especially if you got one parent from somewhere, another parent from somewhere, you grew up somewhere, and now you've moved somewhere else. Yeah. You're not quite enough of anything for those individual people.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, do you find that like the Arab people that come to your shows will give you shit for not speaking Arabic? Do you find like people from Birmingham go, you're not really Brum because you're not there anymore, or you weren't born there, or whatever it is? Yeah. Like, is it a case of never being enough of the thing to that person? Yeah.
Well, what I'll say is the Arabs are much more forgiving because they're just so gassed to see another Arab on stage.
Yeah. And there's very few Arab comedians in the UK.
Exactly.
I weirdly think that, from what I see anecdotally, more in the US.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just because like maybe it's even more polarizing in the US in terms of like, people's opinions. But there's a lot of comedians that are like, I mean, you've got like other Hassans in America who are famous. And it's like, but in the UK, you could do a gig at Top Secret. It's like, you're probably going to be the only person there, like doing jokes about that culture. And
also, and to be fair, we're now starting to get Arab women in the UK. Fatah Al-Ghori, Janine Harouni, Maria Shahata, all on the last season of Live with the Apollo. No Arab men. 0 Arab men. They're all just at home eating kebab, watching their wives crush on BBC. So, yeah, but the Brummies are a bit more like, oh, I'm from Bromsgrove. Like, oh, you're from Bromsgrove. That's not really from Birmingham. But I thought you were from the Blackwood. I thought you were from... And that's fine. Like, that's they are still also really happy, but they're like, yeah, they're just...
Then you get like a posh English guy like, oh, so where were you?
Yeah.
Were you actually in the spotlights though? And you go, well, the Telegraph said I was, making the spotlight.
Honestly, talking about Cambridge on stage, there are people, actually there's very few people that do it because you just seem like such a... And like, correctly. Like, people...
Well, I also think it's been done. What you're
it's been done,
like, the difference between a hack topic and a hack joke is like, if you're doing if you're shitting on Birmingham, it's like loads of people have done that before. If you're nice about it, that's a little bit unique. Exactly. I think a lot of people have done, because so many people came out of Cambridge and talked about it. I mean, it's the same thing with, I went to private school in the UK, shock, big twist for a lot of our listeners. And like, there's people like Jack Whitehall, Ivor Graham.
Yeah.
Ivor Graham's done 3 specials on Eton. It's like,
really?
And it's like, and they're great. They're really good. But it's like, there's nothing you're going to say that's new on boarding school. Everybody knows all the stereotypes. Everybody knows all the things. So unless you completely go at it from another angle, and you're going to defend it, or something that's like a little bit different.
Have you seen Finlay Christie's bit on defending going to private school? It's amazing. Yeah. And for that exact reason, he's doing like a different angle.
That's why he wouldn't do... Well, I mean, I think... I don't know. I think Finlay didn't go to a boarding school, but he went to a private school for a couple of years, I think, and does really good bits on like being kind of taking the piss out of the audience and being like, no, you should be grateful for me. I think it's like private schools have charitable status, so it's like subsidizing their education. And he's actually got a special coming up very soon, so hopefully we can plug that. But but that's the only time it kind of works, is you have to find something new. If you do the whole private school, boarding school showers or whatever, it's just like, well, there's 15 minutes of Whitehall material that's done that to fucking, we don't need to do that again. And I think what's interesting about your show is that there's very little in your show that I've heard somebody talk about before. And I imagine that's incredibly like refreshing for audiences.
Well, you know what? I met Jimmy Carr once, and he said to me, write about the stuff that no one else can, because then you're your own competition. And it is really, really true. Like, because at the end of the day, especially like at the Fringe, everything's kind of crystallized at the Fringe. You're seeing all of your competition in the same place, literally 1,000 shows at the same place. And at the Fringe, what counts for so much is standing out. If you can find any reason to stand out, people will come to our show. It's like with Two Muslims, Too Furious, we were a bit worried because we were like, well, there's very few Muslims at the Fringe, so who's going to come to our show? But actually, if every Muslim at the Fringe comes to your show, you will sell out, you will add extra dates or whatever. It's that stuff. There's a guy doing comedy about Excel. And
I've seen that
and his show sold a month out, it sold 250 tickets. And you're like, everyone uses Excel. Everyone uses Excel, but it's something that no one is talking about.
Well, I think comedy is especially like siloed. There's people that are doing the Apollo. Sometimes I'll like drive past the Hammersmith Apollo and there'll be a name on it, and I'll be like, it's a comedian I've never heard of. And I'll be like, as someone that, compared to the average person, knows of most comedians, I'm like, how can there be someone that can sell 5,000 tickets in London that I've not even heard, not a fan of, I've not heard of? And then you go, because there's 8 billion people. So it's like, you need, when you come to Edinburgh Fringe, there's 4,000 shows. There's maybe 2 million, 3 million people coming. You need to sell 1,000 tickets.
Definitely.
You need 0.01% of the crowd. So anything you can do to hone in on them, even if it isolates 99% of people, good.
Exactly.
Get them out. Like, there's no shows. I very rarely see a poster that is like yours. Too Muslim, Too Furious. Is so funny, and there's a lot of very serious shows about like Islam or about like like from Arab comics, but it's just like to have that joke and then also your posters.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah, exactly. People come to our show and they're just like, they're delighted that we exist, and two, they pretty much know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then we just deliver.
And there's
it.
not that many shows that are catering for those communities in Edinburgh, because it's like it's a predominantly white festival.
And few double acts. I really think like the double act is starting to come back. Like it's just so different in many ways to stand up, and it just affords you so many extra tools and things you can do on stage that Aisha and I didn't know anything about, that we just started to learn from performing with each other so much. And you see it with, we saw that with Bemi and Andrew Menser, yeah. So like it really, really works having that kind of, and it's different.
Like, look at Mitchell and Webb are coming back, and they're doing like, I think sketch and double acts are coming back in like in a big way. I want to talk about your dad, because you talk about your dad in your show, and your dad is from Iraq.
Yeah, Iraqi.
From Iraq.
Yeah.
And I want to understand more about like what's he like, and does he come watch you perform?
Never. You know what? Oh my God. He came once, and I was doing a gig in Coventry, 150 people. I was the youngest by 20 years on the lineup, right? I think it was like 3 guys and me. One of them was Tony Coward, really nice guy. Tony Coward, headline, I think. And I do kind of I think I was doing something insane, like 20. And I'd only been doing comedy for like 2 years at uni at this point. And then halfway through the set, I say, can everyone give a big round of applause for my dad? It's the first time he's ever come to watch me do stand-up comedy, and I want to show my appreciation for him and also get a lift back home. And they all applaud. And at the end of the show, people come up to me saying, oh, well done, really like the show, blah, blah, blah. And then my dad comes up to me, and I'm so curious to hear what is he going to say after my first ever... He's just seen me command a room of 150 people. Like my dad couldn't do that, but he couldn't do that. So he comes up to me and he goes, son, let's go home.
And you were just, no, well done. No, that's a killer joke.
He was like, I have fulfilled my contractual obligation as a father by coming.
Yeah.
Now let us return home and end this debacle.
So he's not a comedy fan, because I thought he might be showing you comedy on TV.
Ironically, he is.
But would he go to live stand-up?
No, he would never go to live. Whenever I invite him to a gig, he's like, oh, but there will be swearing. I'm like, Arab, you swear.
Send him to one of my shows. He'd like me a bit. Who is this Jerry Seinfeld? Yeah, I have the same thing with like not with my dad, but with my mum, where it's just like if you weren't into live performance before, just because someone in your family started doing it, doesn't mean you're suddenly that.
True, exactly. No, it's very true, which is fair enough.
So you still want to support the person, but you're like, club comedy is not for everybody, to be fair.
And I sent him a picture. So I did one of the test events at Soho Walthamstow, which is a brand new 1,000-seater venue, beautiful venue. Shout out Soho Walthamstow. Yeah. And they took a picture of me on stage, and I sent the picture to my dad. I said, Dad, me in front of 1,000 people at Soho Walthamstow. And he replied, good practice for public speaking. Public speaking? This Arab thinks I'm doing TED Talks.
Also, the idea that you're going to go and do it is like an oncology presentation. And you're going to start off with your opening.
Put this on your LinkedIn, Habibi. You will get a very good job. Chemical engineer, inshallah.
And then he goes onto your LinkedIn, public speaking +1. You're one of the few comedians that I think could end up with a TED Talk. You know, there's some comedians that do that crossover. Because you kind of do your show. Like, I hope you take this the right way. I imagine you do your show. I've seen you do your show the exact same way, whether there's people in the room or not. And that's really interesting because that's a level of psychotic behavior that I'm really trying to learn how to do better. But it's like you deliver the joke and you trust it well enough that if there's 1,000 people in the room and you they need 5 seconds to laugh. And if there's nobody in the room, you still give them 5 seconds to laugh. And you don't flinch. Like, you don't I saw you do a work in progress at Top Secret. And they put you downstairs. No one sat in the front row and all these things. It was such a great show. But there are some bits where I'm like, when that room's full, that's going to get an applause break. But in this room, just because there's not that many people, it'll just get like a ha-ha, and then, you know, they kind of look at you for the next joke. And you just held the end. You did that. He's got to say it back. And you waited as if you were waiting for the room to calm down. And I went, that Hasan fella, no matter what I wrote in the Telegraph, I think he'll either be a superstar or he'll be a fucking murderer. Because that is insane behavior from a human being.
Right. But when you've done so many gigs and that's the good thing. I think there comes a point where you've done so many gigs and you've done so many gigs that have gone well that nothing can hurt you from a audience by audience. Like, for example, I did a whip in Leicester. Brother, I'm at a food festival. Nothing can go wrong, surely. These aren't drunks. These are like cultured people. I'm doing a gig at a food festival for free, 45 minutes. 10 minutes in, a guy stands up and goes, mate, you're fucking shit. You're shit, mate. And he leaves. And I just thought to myself, this is the second time this has happened to me.
And then he said, get in the car, Hasan, we're going home.
You just know, like, oh, okay, I'm good. Nothing these people say can hurt me because I've done it before.
You need a healthy amount of, like, I've done 400 gigs. This crowd have been to max 3.
Exactly.
And to be fair, this Edinburgh Fringe, I'm actually learning it's the first time I'm learning that similar thing because you can do the same set 2 days apart. Yeah. And get a completely different reaction. Yeah. Because it's 3:50. My show's at 3. And sometimes you get a theatre crowd in. And they really enjoyed the show, but they didn't laugh out loud once. And some of the dead Diana jokes maybe didn't land as well as they do at the old liberal Top Secret comedy club.
Yeah. But that's the thing as well. It's like when people do react badly, when people tell you to F off, tell you that you're shit, nothing makes a malicious heckler angrier than remaining calm and like being bulletproof and showing like your words don't actually hurt me. Like I remember I did a gig in Wokingham, told a woman to be quiet about 10 minutes in, which was fine because she was annoying everyone else, just talking to her. And then 5 minutes later, I do a joke about oncology, and she goes, my mum, we went to see an oncology doctor, and my mum died of cancer. Why don't you make a joke about that? And that was the first time I've come across, basically...
And you went, okay, here's 5 minutes on your dead mum.
This woman was comedy's version of ISIS. She was a gig terrorist. She doesn't care if I look funny or people like... I just want to destroy the gig.
A gig terrorist celebrating.
Right? She was shooting her AK-47 in the air, and I thought... I was so angry. I was like, why do you have this problem with me? And I remember going home and thinking, this was good. Because the next time this happens, I'll be prepared and I'll be like able to be mentally strong enough to just relax. Yeah.
It makes you a very strong person in terms of fortitude.
Definitely. Definitely.
Okay, Hasan Habib, I've got some... we have a segment in this show. Basically, I'm trying to bring in some topical news stories.
Let's do it.
But the section is called Rich People Problems because almost all of the news stories involve at least one rich person, which is very convenient for me. The first story I want to address, I don't know if you've seen this, Iceland, the supermarket, are offering £1.
Oh my God.
Okay, I'll explain. Iceland, where mums go to shop famously, are offering £1 rewards if you snitch on someone that's shoplifting. The CEO genuinely came out and announced this like it was a really big thing. Yeah. Shoplifting's on the rise. It cost them about £20 million a year, they think. First of all,
20 million.
How do you know? You don't. You just don't know. Also, I guarantee you, like I have friends that have worked in like shops and supermarkets and stuff. If something's going out of date, they just take it. Yeah. Like 15 million out of that 20 million is your own staff. The other 5 million is like people that forget to scan a thing, and we all know people that do it, like people that steal an extra carrot when they're getting an onion or whatever. He has come out and said that he's called Richard Walker. He's Iceland's chief exec, and he made it clear that shoplifting is not a victimless crime. It affects business, staffing, and ultimately the prices for everyone.
I mean, this Iceland guy, first of all, go back to your own country. What are you doing here in UK trying to sell retail? We have Tesco's, bitch. And I saw the video.
£1.
What?
Also, £1 credit on your Iceland loyalty reward account.
You said £1.
Imagine the shadiest figure you've ever seen. First of all, you're in Iceland, you're a mum, you're buying fish fingers for the kids. You see a guy put a Twizzler in his pocket, and you just go, I
could make money.
And also, that guy will pay me £2 to stay quiet. I feel like going to Iceland and offering people £2 to not be a snitch. If you snitch on a, it might be a petty theft criminal. If you snitch on a criminal, your risk to reward ratio, it's £1. £1 is so funny. And he defended it, and he was like, let me be clear. And they thought he was going to clear it up. And he said, you don't have to stop them yourselves.
Nice.
To get the £1.
That's the generosity.
If you alert us and we figure out that they have been.
Yeah.
I can't even do it on a suspicion.
You have to wait by the exit for the reward. You see the handcuffs come on. Yes.
And I tell you, it's going to be that thing like, you know, at school, if you snitched on someone, like the teachers didn't understand snitches get stitches. They'd be like, Timmy, Alfie said. And you're in the corner, like pretending not to look. You're in the self-checkout at Iceland scanning things, and you just see two security officers reprimand someone, take a pepperami out of the pocket, and then point to you and go, that person suspects you're stealing.
And 6 months later, you're in Westminster Magistrates Court.
Yeah.
You're testifying. There's a bounty on your head. Yeah. And you thought, no, I got the £1 credit.
You got the £1.
£1 is crazy, but what's crazy to me is that he opened with, it cost 20 million. So this man is exposing capitalism. We're losing 20 million.
To shoplifting.
To shoplifting.
Yeah.
And if you help us with that, we will give you 0.00005%.
That was like, he was like, we'll give you £1, but let me be clear. We're making fat stacks. Let me be very clear about what's happening here. It's brilliant. It's
Crazy.
it's so good. Crazy. I really am interested to see if anybody will.
Because also, anyone says, is it okay if I just pay with my Iceland credit? I've got £10 credit, and they're going to think, £10? Fucking grass.
I'll cut your arm off.
Oh, Jesus Christ, £10.
Also, I like the idea that some people are like really into it, and they're just hanging around Iceland with a cigarette.
Yeah.
And just like, you know, in those poker movies where they have the £1 coin going around their fingers, and then they flip it up, put the cigarette out, and bust someone. A lot of people are worried. I went on Reddit, and a lot of people are talking about like a Cobra effect, which is when you try and prevent something, you end up encouraging it.
Yes.
The punishment, I think there are a lot of people that have been pointing out shoplifting out of the goodness of their heart. If I saw someone shoplifting and they were taking a lot of stuff, I would maybe when I'm checking out just being like, there's some shady shit going on aisle 3. You didn't hear it from me. Now that it's like,
sir, you get a £1 credit for reporting.
Swipe your card, put your name on there. Alfie Dundas suspects there's a theft on aisle 3. That's Alfie Dundas from Battersea, and it's just like it's going to lead to more shoplifting, knowing that the £1 system is less effective than the £0. It's in Peep Show where it's like, what's more embarrassing, like no bonus or a measly bonus of £140. I would love to see where it goes.
It's crazy.
What would your alternative option be, Hasan?
Oh my God.
Talk to...
So if the target was reduce shoplifting...
Because Richard Walker, Chief Executive of Iceland, does listen to the pod. I have it on good authority. I paid him £2 and he'll do anything for £2.
I apologise for calling you a bitch and telling you to go back to your own country, Richard. I can't believe we lost 2-1 to them as well when that you bastard Euros. Anyway, I think...
Sorry, to be clear, the chief executive of Iceland is not Icelandic.
Is he not Icelandic? Oh, so they've opened up. I thought it was like Bilbao. You know, where to play for Bilbao, you have to be from Bilbao.
I genuinely assumed you were joking. And the second time you went on, I would then doubted myself. And I went, well, it would be weird if they were Finnish. I assume it's an English company.
It's Richard Walkerson. That's his name.
Richard
Walkerson. You got to make it uncool, shoplifting. You've got to have someone really, really... They should do like a marketing campaign where like they're like, don't shoplift. And they've got a picture of someone shoplifting and it's Anne Widdecombe. They're like, don't be like Anne. Or could we do like... or maybe they could do that advert where like, you would steal a loaf of bread. You would steal
a handbag.
You would steal a handbag.
This is exactly the same thing.
Right? We
need more theft in Iceland. And that's why bums go to Iceland.
Exactly.
I think if you get caught shoplifting, you have to have an Iceland card. Because that's more embarrassing on the streets, that you have an Iceland card registered in your government name.
Yes.
With £1 on it.
Exactly.
If you get caught shoplifting, you get £1 from Iceland.
We're okay with you shoplifting. We just ask that you register in advance. And as you say, it just makes the whole process
Every
easier.
little doesn't help.
Every little doesn't
in
help.
that case. The second thing I want to get you on, Rich People Problems number 2, is your and my favorite man, an acronym, JD Vance. JD Vance? I think if you're posh, it's JD Vance. I think for Brum, it's JD Vance.
JD Vance.
Yeah.
JD Vance.
JD Vance.
I got my trainers from JD Vance the other day.
I put in brackets USVP, just in case. JD Vance is on holiday. There's been a lot made of like, apparently he's taken like 600 days holiday, which is crazy because they've been in power for about 200 days.
Yeah, that is...
I don't understand how that works.
He was holidaying during the campaign.
It's really fun. He's been on holiday. He's come to the UK, even though he keeps calling it, Islamabad.
Islamabad, yeah.
He's been in the Cotswolds, which is very
Which, by the way, we're delighted about in Birmingham, but that's a different story about his...
him calling it
Islamabad.
Yeah. You were like, JD Vance is an ally.
We're going to bring JD Vance to Ladypool Road, bro. The best doner kebab, I swear, down in Ladypool Road.
Can you imagine if we solved all global tension by just giving JD Vance but like a really good wrap?
Listen, the size of his face.
Everything in it.
Yeah.
Well, he's basically just been eating. I mean, I have an issue with all of these billionaires in America slamming the UK, and then they all come to the Cotswolds. My parents live in the Cotswolds. It's like everybody shits on the Cotswolds and then immediately buys a house there.
Interesting.
And it's like, what are you doing? Anyway, the thing that I find, he's actually just arrived in Edinburgh.
Right. Has he?
And I believe he's coming to your show.
He's booked tickets to Death of the West Midlands.
He has 28 security. So if you could get him to come to a show, you could sell out. Oh my God, there are some comedians licking their lip. JD, you would love my show.
We'll get you comps. JD.
I've got some great I got some really good Trump jokes that I'm proud of. He would love.
He would love to get on Title 3:15
And they're not hack at all.
Oh, yes.
No, what I want to get your thoughts on is the most interesting thing is he went fishing with David Lammy.
Oh, yeah.
And what's really funny about that is David Lammy has had to hand himself in to the environmental agency because he and JD Vance were fishing without proper licenses. But the fish were released and the licenses were then quickly obtained. But you've made all this effort.
Yeah.
All the effort in the world to fly over with Secret Service. You've met up with the Lamster, which is, of course, a good time. You're JD Vance. You hate the UK. You hate all kind of people. You come to the UK. You go fishing with David Lammy without a license in the Cotswolds.
License to fish.
And no license to fish.
No license to fish.
And then David Lammy hands himself in 2 hours later, and hands yourself in to the hands behind your back to the. It's not like going to prison.
The thing is, I'm hesitant to speak on fishing because I don't want to appropriate white culture at all.
Can I say I appreciate you making space.
Thank you, thank you for that. But you know what? Shout out to. I've got a lot of black friends from London. I've never seen them fish. I've never ever heard them say, "Bro, let's go fishing."
No.
Me and my boys go fishing all the time and been like, yeah, let's take it.
where the Thames dips down around Bermondsey, you can just
exactly. No fishing. Where did they go fishing? Do we know?
They went fishing in the Cotswolds, which is
But Lammy's not. But I don't think David Lammy is. What's he doing in the Cotswolds? Isn't his constituency Tottenham?
Look, my point. I don't really have anything to say on this story.
Yeah.
The picture of JD Vance and David Lammy fishing. And then finding out they did it illegally. And it's apart from stealing from Iceland, one of the pettiest thefts you could possibly do is fishing in the Cotswolds with a Conservative MP without a license. Has got
Labour,
to
by
be,
the way. I've got to correct you right immediately.
What I meant was I'm so used to 14 years of Conservative rule with a current MP. Like breaking an environmental law with a current MP that you've been slagging up. Like you've been slagging up. You're with a black Labour MP having slagged off Labour for being in charge and therefore letting too many people of colour into the country. And now you're fishing without a license. And you've got 28 Secret Service lined up along the river to stop all of these like hippie Cotswolds people coming and protesting.
And allow people to dump sewage in the river.
It's so much more hassle than it's worth.
Yeah. No, that's true.
It's like when Matt Hancock drove to Durham. During COVID. It's like he set the COVID rules.
But you're getting your white people confused, which is something I do all the time. But you're thinking of the guy.
I'm not thinking of Hancock.
The mastermind of the Brexit campaign
with the little glasses.
Yeah, Dominic Cummings.
I'm thinking of Cummings. Coming up with the idea.
Yeah.
And then breaking your own rule.
Yeah.
For some reason, will always be funny to me.
yeah.
It's the equivalent of Richard Walker going to Iceland and forgetting to pay.
This is pure.
That's how you close a show.
I'll tell you what.
We're running out of time. If you, I highly recommend you find Hasan on social media, and I assume maybe can't talk about it, but we'll hopefully be doing the show a little bit more post Edinburgh.
Yeah, definitely. I hope so. Inshallah.
In the next coming years, you will see Hasan everywhere, and I've booked in this interview because when people start looking you up on YouTube, the SEO is going to be just so rich and tasty. Yes. Make sure you see Hasan's show. If you're in Edinburgh, there's 2 weeks left. He's completely sold out, but he's got extra dates. It's called Death to the West Midlands, or you can look him up on Instagram. You got another joke on the Instagram name.
At Amusing Arab. Because,
at Amusing Arab.
Yeah, I did a gig in Bristol and a guy came up to me and went, "Sorry, mate. I can't find you on Instagram. Can you type it in?" And I looked in that said, "The Amazing Arab." Like I'm a circus Arab performer. Like I juggle shisha pipes on a camel.
Glitter out of the pocket.
Exactly.
And then you disappear.
Exactly. And also, can I just say, Alfie, before we would start recording, he said to me, "Look, can you put on the pink microphone cover? Because you were worried that otherwise it would look like an Arab man talking to camera. It might look like I have hostages."
I would like to make it clear that I only just realised you were Arab. This whole time, I thought you were.
And the pink cover, it just helps.
American.
Exactly, Italian American.
I thought you were Hasan Al-Habib.
Exactly.
Go catch Hasan everywhere. Follow him on Amusing Arab. Go and if you want to go to a show that he does with Aisha, it's Too Muslim, Too Furious.
Yes.
The number, not the spelt out letter.
Exactly.
My show is not sold out every day for the rest of the run, but if you want to see me, I've got 9 more shows in Edinburgh. How many days?
Yeah, my God, only 9, bro.
9 days left, so I'll be in Edinburgh, and I'm gonna do. It'll be announced by the time I put this out. Big London taping at Top Secret.
Oh, sick!
October 26th.
Amazing.
2:30 p.m.
2:30 p.m.
That's the only time you could do
Bro,
the Top
you're
Secret.
a big dog now.
I'm doing a big dog filming. We got 250 tickets to sell. So let's do that. And hopefully I can do a few other dates. I'm looking at
that's amazing,
Brighton,
man.
Bristol.
That's amazing. What day? October 26th?
October 26th.
Let me put that in my calendar.
You better
October
be
26th. Saturday?
It's a Sunday.
Sunday, nice.
Afternoon. So that's where Elliot Steele, who I've got coming on next week, so stay tuned. And Finlay Christie, who I'm going to beg to come on when I get back to London. They both film their specials at Top Secret, and I just like the way they come out. And it's just my favourite room to do.
Brilliant room.
It's the best room downstairs.
Bro, that's so sick. I'm delighted for you. I'm excited.
Apparently, even on those Sunday afternoons, it's a great vibe.
Yes,
People
it is.
kind of hungover, but then they have a boozy lunch. And they're good.
Shout out Nico Yearwood. Nico's always saying Sunday afternoon is the best show at Top Secret.
Shout out Nico. One final story. Nico Yearwood is the MC at Top Secret, and he's a big dude. He's a strong dude, and he's got these big rigs. And he doesn't know this. I think I've only just plucked up the courage to like talk to him like all the time, because he just, I think now knows who I am. He's just followed me back on Instagram, so we're in.
Lovely.
One of the first times I was doing my first like trial at Top Secret. I just done my first trial at Top Secret from upstairs. I was coming downstairs. Packed out downstairs, 300 people, really nervous. He brings me on stage. He fist bumps me with the ring. I can only explain like the Lord of the Rings spike. You know, like Sauron's head like has all those spikes on it. I'm holding the mic. I hit a joke. I look down at my hand. I can see blood coming out of my knuckles, and I was just like, never mention this.
Flip it. That's the he's initiating you into the Top Secret blood cult.
We're now blood brothers.
Exactly.
And whatever he has, I have, and whatever I have, he has. And and also, if Top Secret ever stop booking me, I'm going to file for domestic abuse. So we're good in that sense. Go and follow Hasan. Hasan, I finish every episode by asking people. This is very loosely a podcast about love, although we haven't really talked.
Really?
It's called It's All Love. And I ask everyone at the end, and this can be a serious or it can be a silly answer, whatever comes to mind. Who or what do you, Hasan, love most in the world right now?
Oh my God, that's a great question. It has to be a comedian. I'm gonna say a comedian's show. You know what? I love, do you know Aruj Ashfaq?
Of course, yeah.
Best newcomer a couple of years back. I love her show, and yeah, I really love Aruj Ashfaq's writing, delivery, her as a person. I've been lucky enough to get to know her a bit. She's fantastic. Show after 6 p.m. She's touring the UK. Aruj Ashfaq, absolutely brilliant. And like, she can make anyone laugh. She's an Indian Muslim woman, but she can make anyone laugh. And she's absolutely massive and will continue to be so.
Great. That's the first time someone's recommended a comic.
Is it?
Everyone else has gone for a physical, like a materialistic.
My God.
But you're a kind of
The Western society is in decline. They are all selfish. يعني.
Sophie Garrett said 1, hair clips, 2, her boyfriend. In that order. Thank you very much for listening or watching.
Pleasure.
Thank you to Hasan for coming.
Pleasure.
Please like, subscribe, comment, whatever you want to do, and we will see you next time.